So if you followed me in the last few days, you know that I, on Friday, April 3rd, will be releasing an e-workbook titled Bliss After Burnout. So I wanted to get on here and talk a little bit more about what Bliss After Burnout is, why I created it, and for those of you that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, I wanted to introduce myself. So I'm Anderson-Crier. I'm a certified professional career coach and a registered yoga teacher. And for the last several years, I have worked in higher education, both in career services as well as on the talent management and org development side. So as you can imagine, in my own professional journey, I've met a number of students, faculty, staff members who have all had their own experiences with burnout. For some people, burnout is the result of one major incident. And for me, I found over time, eventually, that burnout had been the result of several years of changes and just kind of ups and downs with my own professional career. So it was the start of grad school and then changing careers, relocating, starting a family, working at home with an infant that just kind of depleted my energy. So I wanted to crack the code on why so many people are experiencing burnout in a way that feels very practical. For me, when I was experiencing challenges at work, I would do all this research and I felt like the advice that I was getting it was never anything that I could actually take and apply immediately. You know, being told to just change jobs when you have responsibilities or a family to take care of doesn't feel feasible. So I wanted to create something that felt very tangible, that felt practical, and was not going to put anyone into a tailspin of potentially more burnout. So especially now that we are hearing more and more talk about an upcoming recession, I think it's very important that we hunker down, really learn to master where we are before we attempt to move on to something different in this very crazy time. So Bliss After Burnout is going to do that. It's going to help you understand what you are experiencing and understand the ways in which you can change your situation when quitting your job and walking away isn't an immediate option. So Bliss After Burnout is an e-workbook that will be available through immediate download. It's going to contain a burnout quiz as well as several symptoms that I have identified as being kind of red flags on your pathway to possibly burning out. So understanding what you are experiencing. I've also included 20 self-mastery coaching questions. These are questions that I have used in my work with hundreds of people that have experienced toxic workplaces, bad bosses, terrible relationships with colleagues, overwork, low budgets, budget cuts, you know, all of those crazy things. And then the workbook concludes with 10 life-changing tips or steps that you can take starting the day that you download it that will help transform your career. Burnout is stress-induced, and we are in very stressful times. So what I would like to see is people start to get ahead of burnout before you get to a point where you feel completely done with the work that you're doing, or you feel completely lost or depleted of your passion and fire. Understand where you're headed and redirect yourself if at all possible. So again, it's going to be available on Friday, April 3rd for immediate download. I'm excited to work with all of you who download the workbook. I'll be doing webinars and offering additional coaching for anyone who has questions as you begin to work on the activities in the workbook. So I'm excited to hear from you, and I'm even more excited to really tackle this burnout that everyone is experiencing and talking about these days, and I'm excited to see where your career goes. So I look forward to talking to you more after Friday, April 3rd.